Hey, Great Couch family.
Hello.
This is Stanley.
And Otito.
Welcome to 2024.
A new year, a new season, a new everything, right? So last week we started a conversation on spousal support with me, Otito, saying that Stanley had taken care of the production for our episodes all of last year, right? Yes, indeed. I wouldn't be saying if it wasn't true. And part of that was because I was going through a very, very rough season with my health, right? In that sense. And, I think, come to find out I'm not alone. And as they say, I'm almost ashamed to say that I'm a healthcare professional, right? In that sense, I'm in the healthcare field, and I absolutely did not recognize the signs of perimenopause. Trust me, I'm not that old, but perimenopause apparently is a very lengthy season, and sometimes it starts with a bang, sometimes it starts slowly, right? But for someone who has always struggled with hormones and hormonal adjustments, you should, read about our attempts at contraception and birth control. It's all in our book, right? If you want to get the salacious details, but that will give you an idea, right? In that sense of just how much of a struggle it's been. So if you haven't read it or if you haven't bought it yet, go get the book, right? Book one of many by God's grace, so you get to read all about it. I know, yeah. So anyways, back to last year when I had the out-of-body experience with lethargy, mood changes, weight changes, and a general lack of vitality. Right now I understand how important vitality is to a person's life, right, in every aspect. So here comes Oga at the top, right? We're Nigerian, so Oga at the top, it can mean whatever you want it to mean. But here comes the Oga at the top doing what he could, pushing gently or harder, pushing like literally, right? To get me to do what you call the minimum viable steps that I could take towards goals that I had previously set, right? And can I tell you, most of all of this pushing, not pushing, the most important thing was the prayer, right? Praying and praying. And man, I felt those prayers, right? I think I'm here because of the early morning prayers, right? Over me, over the children, and all that went up on my behalf. And I'm really, really thankful. I'm really thankful. So 2024, right? I feel like it's like the beginning of a new season, like a birthing. I don't know, what it will birth. You will see as we go along. But let Stan tell his own side of this very hormonal season.
So I was also blindsided by that. I didn't really know what was going on. All I knew was something was wrong. And you would ask, "Hey, what's going on?" There's nothing going on. And so I had two mindsets, or two seasons that I went through at the time. The first was a limiting mindset, and then the next is what I want to call a liberating mindset. I know, a lot of L's this time. But the limiting mindset was, maybe this girl doesn't want to do it again, and so this is like, I'm fed up, I'm done with this, and that was limiting in that, you feel like your hands are tied and it's out of your hand. The liberating mindset was a little bit morbid, but it came from the mindset that what if she were not around? Okay. What would you do? Will the children starve? No. Will the children not go to school? Will the ideas that you have not come to pass? And I was like, okay, let me do what I can do to keep this vision going. And if I'm going to be 110% honest, there was a little bit of fear of people's opinion. In that, yes, I was like, this thing that I have started, let it not go and fail. And so you keep pushing, keep knocking. And I have to say, the feeling came after the effort. Is how it came. You just make things as easy as possible. What do we need? We need a script. We need get guests on the couch. We need to
invitation.
send an invitation. So just make
See
everything.
how much work goes into this.
Just set everything up so that it's receiving, and then results start to come, and you hear people say, "Oh, I was blessed by this. I was blessed by this." And okay, let's keep the ball rolling. That's all.
So anyways, having spoken with many women, right, going through various degrees and stages of this protracted period of perimenopause, we thought it time to really talk about to the men, I would say, right, and women, right, about what supporting your spouse, typically the wife, because I wish men went through perimenopause, but hey, typically supporting what your wife through this period can look like. So I'll go first, right? To the women, I feel like thankfully this is a season where we can talk about so many things that used to be taboo, right? So don't go it alone. Perimenopause looks different for different women, and that's what makes it so frustrating, right? And because it's so different for different people, there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all solution, right? And so the key thing is to be aware of the signs, right? So I mean, the major ones that keep coming up for many people is extreme tiredness, just tiredness, moodiness, brain fog, where you have something you're trying to say and like, what was I saying again, right? So be ready to have the conversation and explain to your spouse, because I feel like that brain fogginess is going to be the first one that even your children will say, what is going on, mom? You just hung up in the middle of what you were saying, right? So explain to them what is going on. So you won't expect them to magically understand if you haven't taken the effort to better understand what might be happening to you yourself, right? In that sense. And I think the other thing to think about is that because it's not happening to other women doesn't make your symptoms less valid, right? That's kind of the way I think about it. So think of it like body disposition, right? You know how some people can eat a well of food, right? And nothing. They just look like, I don't know, they don't gain an ounce of weight. While another, someone says, just inhales the food and gains weight. Like you just smell the food and you gain weight, right? And so, that means that person is always going to be on some perpetual train of calorie restriction and exercise and still sometimes doesn't get a break, right? So, think about it like that and just realize we're all different. So don't go eat alone. I started that and I'm saying it again. Ask for the help you need and ask it often. I remember telling Stan so many times last year that, certain things are out of my capacity. I just couldn't do it, and he can handle it however he wants to handle it, that the world's not going to come crashing down. I just do it however best, And, we're Nigerians, so the Nigerian sayings keep coming up. Nigerians will say, I cannot come and go and die. Like, I cannot come and go and die for you, right? In that sense, it's not yet my time, please. So that's kind of what I would say, right?
So to the men, my brothers, I would say, let's pay attention. I mean, that's the whole afternoon tea that we're talking about. Let's pay attention, and let it not be that when you see the reduced libido or you observe the reduced libido, that's when you start to pay attention. Before we get to that level, there's always like huge unimaginable tiredness, lethargy, and just being out of it, and even moodiness, let those be telltale signs, that this might be what's going on. And we might going to work and showing up at home and showing up at church functions. But as human beings, there'll be a level of, we can be functional even though we're dysfunctional at the same time. It's up to you, and that's your spouse to kind of say, wait, these things are not really up, and then try and ask questions like, is this possible? This, in essence, let's not wait for the crash to happen, because there's that crash where you reach the end of the gas tank and the car just stops running.
Yep.
Isn't that why?
Yeah, I guess.
And then it's normally in midlife that we now have the cash running out.
The gas running out. Yeah, I've always thought about this. Is probably why a lot of divorces happen in midlife, right? Because coupled with maybe if you have children, parenting through what people call the turbulent teenage years, right? Then you add this, and maybe like, you know, the man is not paying attention and all that. The women are like, I'm done, right? Not knowing that it's just maybe a season. But I guess the key thing is to pay attention, like Stan said.
Attentive to your spouse's needs, which will be different.
Yeah, true.
So you can't have like a blanket statement.
Yeah.
You know, I was doing X before, and so X should still be acceptable now. You know, it's changed. You know.
So I guess if you're paying attention, right,
and
you know, because there's something I always say to you, that give people what they need, right, not what they want. Because if you're paying attention, it'll be obvious. And I think for me, the thing that struck me, you know, when I was kind of looking at things related to this, was that studies have shown that men, about 85% of men typically run away from a spouse with a terminal condition. Like they run away. So sometimes I feel like, is it that men are not wired, right, for those levels of caregiving? You understand? So anything that involves a lot of caregiving, the men tend to abandon the spouse, like spousal abandonment. So something for you men to think about, right?
We will not be commenting on that.
I know for today. Yeah. But I think if I came back to the whole idea of seasons, right? That's always the supporting your spouse through the seasons. It's a season. The season will pass. Shorter for some, longer for others, or not so shorter for some, but it'll be over, right? The thing is, we can't pick. It's like the lottery. You don't know how long your, season will last. And speaking of studies, right? Studies have also shown that when people stay together, right, that sex gets better in the golden years, right? So we know we're still ways away from those supposed golden years. I told you I wasn't that old. I just picked the wrong side of the lottery. I need the $1 million type. But we are kind of, looking forward to it. Hey. Yeah.
So having said this, though, what are other ways that we can support each other during these temporary seasons of non-optimal health?
This being one of them. And I think, again, like I said, the frustrating part is it seeps into so many aspects of life, work and all that. And so the question is, how have you supported your significant other, right? Have there been things that made it easier or harder, right? And how did you navigate this?
I mean, if I was going to take a whack at that question, it would be, being patient, extending grace to the person and saying, this person that I know, and since something has changed, let's go in and dive deep and see. Just being patient and giving grace,
So as we go into 2024, we hope that the word support will be a key word for your relationships, right? We can't wait to hear from you about your stories of, loving support, because we know that the word says, again, like we said last time, that when a person falls and there's someone else to catch them, right, it's always better, right? In that sense, that woe is he who falls and there's no one, to catch him. So speaking of, support, we do have a marriage education workshop coming up soon, right? So if you're in New Jersey, make it a date with us. We'll put the details, in the link. And if you're not a Jersey girl or a Jersey boy, you can still join us. Would love to see you. And one last thing is that, we're working on our second book. Yes. So this is our, open accountability call. That you hold us accountable to it. Coming to a bookstore near you sooner than later. Right. And it's going to be all about communication.
So the first C,
the bedrock,
the
bedrock, right? So taking a different angle to this, and we hope you pray for us, pray for the work that is going to be behind this, right? And hopefully we'll learn how to communicate better through it all and not worse.
You to them and all together.
So
that's what we have.
That's what we have for you today.
Next week we have an interesting couple. Join us on the bench. First couple for 2024. Not to give any spoilers out, but we've known this couple for a while, and you guys are going to be blessed.
So imagine when medicine and finance come together. You get a lot of nuggets, right, for healthy marriage and a financially stable one. As they say, financial intimacy.
So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And we'll see you
on the couch.